You see, when I was a little rascal, I wanted every game to be infinitely replayable. Time? That was a commodity for me, a resource that I had ample to spare. I wanted worlds that felt endless, something to make time go faster, to make time irrelevant. See that mountain over there? I want it to be more than a skybox. I wanted to explore it, free of limitations. I desired stories that span longer than any book I could feign interest in, and lore so deep, it took over my world. Many games have come and gone since I've been an inhabitant on this big old rock. As I've aged and incrementally been blessed with more responsibilities, I've learned that there are significant considerations that need to be made to determine which game I'm going to pick up and play. One such is the length of a video game. In this video, I want to explore why a game's length matters, how it can impact what you play, how it can sully your enjoyment of games, and above all else, why quality matters. For the longest time, I thought the bigger the game, the better. I was awash with thoughts of grandeur and infected with rhetoric. There was a time when I believed that a game's value was determined by how much time it demanded from me, from how long I invested in it. But now I'm not so sure.
This just works. It's not, I'm not
Ladies
kidding.
and gentlemen, this
After
is the first
67
foray
hours
into
of
increasing
endless
video game prices.
tedium, you really need to say
concern me.
enough is
When am I
enough.
gonna find the time? There is only one video game that I recall my mum and I ever playing together. It's called Journey. It's a story of one small, curious-looking creature and their tireless approach to a distant mountain. It's a story of perseverance against adversity, a story of loss, a story of connection, and ultimately, the acceptance of a final destination. All of that packaged in just 2 hours. I was floored. A speechless story left me speechless. And it only took 2 hours. For many years, I've heard it said that a game's worth is measured by how long it takes to finish. A prudent shopper might collect Assassin's Creed Odyssey for like, I don't know, 10 USD. That's like, what, $1 for 10 hours of gameplay? Well, that's not bad. It's free real estate. However, whilst I myself have thought this way countless times, it's games I've discovered like Journey that completely dispel this idea. I mean, how do we reconcile this when games like The Pathless, Undertale, Ori, Stray, and the Stanley's Parable exist? All of which take a staggering 5 or so hours to complete, give or take. Good art speaks for as long as it speaks, be that an hour or 40. What matters emphatically more is the quality of games we consume. Look, I never thought I'd say this, but the gaming medium can be a lot like, say, YouTube. There are some games to me that are the equivalent of the shorts page, just straight up brain rot. I mean, have you seen the AI garbage on Steam lately? Yikes! This gets me thinking. You see, I spent $5 on this cool little mystery pack here. You'd get 5 games that were rated positive or more, $200 for the value of $5, and I fell for it like an idiot. You know what games I got with it? And this thing is selling at like 40 USD. It's fine. But seriously, engaging with certain games adds nothing to me. There are games that are addictive, there are games that are repetitive, and there are games that after playing only for a couple of hours, I feel lazy and deflated by. Whilst on the flip side, there are other games that challenge me, stir me creatively, and make me feel something. This is to say that above all else, regardless of what genre of games you love to play, you should prioritize quality games, irrespective of their length. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't play goofy games, or really any games to that matter. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. And we shouldn't need to meticulously analyze every game we play and pick up to see if it's worth it, but we also shouldn't fall into the trappings that bigger worlds and elongated game times equals a better game. That's just not true.
Once you've all upgraded your PCs, you'll be able to explore thousands of barren planets where a real sense of loneliness will start setting in.
But the antiquated notion that a game's length is related to its value may be pragmatic, but when we rightly contextualize gaming as the art form that it is today, It's astounding how swiftly that argument seems to dissipate. And don't get me wrong, some of my favorite games are huge in scope. My favorite game from last year was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
This game is huge.
It took me roughly around 100 hours to beat. And again, to give some perspective, in the time it took me to play Rebirth, I could have played God of War Ragnarok, The Last of Us, Astrobot, The Order 1886. I could have watched the whole first season of Freerun. I could have consumed over 15 chunky hours of BBC Sherlock, and potentially still had time to spare. So, do I regret playing Rebirth? No, absolutely not.
Please shut up.
But I'm aware that playing games of that caliber greatly reduces what else I can play. Just over a decade ago, as gaming was evolving, a larger scale RPG's release was met with most gamers adopting a rather forgiving posture, noting that the longer a game is, the more we can handwave some of its shortcomings. Perhaps there's a bunch of boring quest lines, bloat, bugs, frequently reused assets.
They're the same picture.
Or just some genuinely uninteresting moments amongst a sea of great moments. We were rather tolerant of this. We'd anticipated that due to the unprecedented scale of these titles, they will inevitably have lulls. In some niche instances, jank was considered a feature. However, and I know to some this is going to sound controversial, but I think our expectations of a game should be consistent irrespective of its length. What do I mean by this? Well, let's put it this way. If you play a tight 5-hour game, or say an expansive RPG 50-hour game, neither title should cut corners or compromise quality. Look, realistically, one is definitely going to take longer to make, but that's a creative decision that's not on the gamer. I mean, why would that be on us? Realistically, if we're entering into a longer game, that game has a much taller task of engaging us and capturing our attention. Life is far too short to engage with games that are 100 hours long and half-baked. Put that on your kitchen rags, Grandma. It may have been novel a decade ago, but today, longer games do not equal better games. And any game that does take more of your time will inevitably reduce what else you can play. And that's the sticking point. The bigger the game, the less variety of games you can enjoy. I mean, even if you know life it, even if playing video games was somehow your full-time job, I'm jealous of you by the way, the backlog will grow. Now, if you have access to this video, then undoubtedly you have an internet connection, or you're just built different. Either way, if you've been online, you may have noticed there's a lot of discourse online about the state of video games. Some of it is constructive, and a lot of it is demoralizing and deconstructs your faith in humanity. But one thing is for damn sure, there are way too many high-profile games to keep up with and play today. People are just out here saying whatever vile nonsense they want online while they haven't probably had the time to play any of these games they're talking about. And let's be honest, you probably haven't had that much time to play them either, but you should. You should play your backlog, man. Come on, I believe in you. Play your backlog. You got this. The most obvious consequence that I think we've now safely established is that if you're locked in playing a longer game, it will reduce your capacity to play other games.
That's true.
This is why, for me, I only have the bandwidth to play maybe 2 or 3 large games per year. And if I ignore my capacities, if I trudge forward regardless, well, I run the risk of that classic old thing, burnout. Most of us have probably been there before. Gaming, sure. It's a hobby we love, and it's a lot of fun at times. I remember so fondly playing Metro on Battlefield 3 till 4 a.m, eating pizza for what felt like weeks in a row until we just couldn't stay awake anymore. But at some point, for one reason or another, chances are you fell off. You got disinterested. You may have even quipped once or twice, "There's nothing good coming out lately." Really? You may have spied one of the 100 YouTube videos titled "Gaming Isn't Fun Anymore." These videos aim at unpacking that feeling of loss where things used to be fun and now they feel different. As you kind of keep just doing what you're doing, waiting for that next game to come by and capture your attention and reel you back into the hobby. Before I continue, I just want to reiterate that I love a big RPG. For a really long time, Skyrim was easily in my top 3 favorite games of all time. Just last year, I completed a Baldur's Gate 3 campaign with some of my buddies. We jumped on every Monday night for 3 months, and by the end of our campaign, we clocked in over 100 hours. Look at this man. What a man. However, over the years, I've observed that too many hours spent in too many big games impacts me. Earlier this year, I completed a game that almost made me fall out of gaming. That game was Metaphor Refantatio. There's a lot to love about it. Its art design, lore, music, and world building are outstanding. Its character work and writing are for the most part well done, but for a game of such accolade, it was perplexing to me just how much that game seemed to, well, drag on. But by the end of my 90+ hour playthrough, I was just utterly exhausted. I'd wanted this game to end like 30+ hours ago, but here I was, still trying to play it. See, I have a problem with leaving games unfinished. I really make it my goal to try and finish everything I play, even if it's to my detriment. The point I'm getting at, and you probably already seen coming, is that variety is key. Playing larger games can be draining. If you find yourself being exhausted by them, I find it sometimes helpful just to mix up what you play, genre hop a little bit, or just go outside, touch some grass, I don't know, do other stuff. You know, I find just doing other stuff is so helpful. Video games are magnificent. They're a symphonic convergence of many art forms, be it visual, cinema, music, fashion, writing, and more. They're serendipitous, interactive, and undeniably captivating. But it swiftly erodes away at our most valuable currency: time. Which realistically is why I wanted to make this video, because I think it's good for us sometimes to take a moment, to take pause, and consider the consequences of a video game's length. And if you like constructive, thoughtful discussions about the greatest art form on our planet, then consider subscribing, because that's what I'm about here. Also, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. Please, thank you. Subscribe, like the video, and have a fantastic day. Bye.